So first of all, last day here of open practices. Really appreciate the fan support. Good attendance. I know it gives the guys juice. Good weather today. We're moving on from last week, so we're kind of done with last week. This is a fresh week. I have a lot to work on. We'll have 2 padded practices this week. One with shells, good competitive periods, and just focus on getting better fundamentally and improve our techniques. And that's kind of where we're at.
Can you update us on Shane and the other guys who are?
Yeah, Shane won't be out there today. He probably won't be out there this week. We'll see. We'll kind of take it day by day. Who else?
Who else was hurt?
Jamil, he won't be out. I mean, these guys will be rehabbing and doing the stuff they can, but he won't be out there either.
Right. You make it,
to practice.
You make it sound with Shane at least that it's not like a serious long-term thing. Is that fair to say at least?
What's long-term for you?
Into the regular season?
We'll see. We'll see. He did something, but I don't want to look. We're day by day with these injuries. We'll see where he's at. I know the guy will rehab the best he can to get available for us.
Still called a toe injury? That's how you announced it.
Yeah, it's something with his foot.
Coach, how much preparation goes into a preseason game, or how much game planning that actually happened goes into a preseason game?
The last one, none. This one, probably not much either. I think really you're trying to evaluate players, which is most important. We goes to 85 on Tuesday, then 80 the next Tuesday, and 53 the next Tuesday. So it's happening quick. But there's not a lot of game planning and you're kind of running some core plays or plays you want to take a look at that you want to have guys run or run the route, run the blitz, run whatever it may be.
You'll have Josh go in where Shane was.
Yeah, he's working back through some stuff too. So you probably see Bredesen in there today a little bit.
How's Flott? Cordell Flott?
Same. He'll be working back. We'll see where he's at by the end of the week. So we had some guys that get a little bit dinged up. I don't think anything real serious, but also trying to do right by the players to get them back healthy as we can.
Is the amount of injuries causing you at all to adjust what you would have done this week?
Not to this point. I think the guys, we were going to go 3 days of pads, but I think after talking to the sports science and trainers, we did adjust one of those days to no padded practice. But every team goes through it every year. I mean, it's not much different than 15 years ago, 10 years ago of teams I've been around. You're constantly doing that.
Even though the fans won't be here and you technically close camp per se, will you continue your schedule the same way?
Yeah.
You think over the next couple of weeks?
Yep. We'll be the same. I mean, with tweaks here or there, we're always adjusting and on our off days, seeing if we can do things better, structure things different. But I've liked the pace of it, the timing. It's been good for the players.
You hopeful that Josh will be ready for the game in week 2, or?
Tough to tell you right now. Probably questionable.
What is it about Bobby Johnson that you entrusted him with doing the job here?
I've been around him I've worked with him for a few years, and I've seen how he operates, and I think he's creative in the run game. He does a good job with the fundamentals. He relates well to the players. He's a good football coach. I think the players respect him, and I think he offers a lot to the offensive staff.
Right, one of the first moves you guys made when you got here was bringing Antonio over with you.
Yeah.
What did you see from him there, and what have you seen from him this summer?
Consummate pro. I mean, he took the advantage of his opportunities. The best play he probably had was on the kickoff in the second half. We went down there and tackled the guy for not much of a gain. He was excited about that. He's a guy that's constantly working to try to stick on a roster and stick around. His mindset's good. He's smart. It's good competition in that room.
What have you seen from Kenny Galladay this summer? I mean, from my perspective, I'll speak for myself.
Sure.
When you see him, run, the separation just hasn't really been there consistently. I'm curious what you see.
Yeah, I think he's acclimated himself well in terms of what we're doing. Again, all receivers, they're different. Some are really shifty and quick. Some are big and physical, and it's just a matter of when you have an opportunity to go out there and make plays, which he's made some of them, that you go ahead and make them. I've been pleased with how he's handled himself. He's been a pro, and he's competing. He's competing every day with those guys.
So in the preseason game, one more on Kenny for a second. In the preseason game, you're all right with the deep ball that Daniel threw to him. Like, you just want Daniel to kind of give him a chance to go make that play.
Yeah, there's a guy buckled into Daniel's knees too. So,
Sure.
I'm over on the sideline talking to Daniel can we give the guy a chance? And to Daniel's credit, I wish he would have, but he didn't. He'd say there was a guy sitting in his knee. His black leg wasn't a great throwing posture. So
I'm just talking about you're fine with the separation he gets on that play because
Yeah,
you just want him to. That's what he did. He does. So you just want him to.
That's a big body receiver. You're going to have to go up and play like a big boy, and the quarterback's going to have to give you a chance, and it's going to be, you and the defender. Kenny's stacked guys plenty of times here, but that if he's not stacked or he's fighting one-on-one and you like the matchup with a smaller corner, go ahead and give it to him.
Brian, two-part, if I may.
Sure.
When we talk about separation for receivers, is there an ideal number of yards? And then the second part of the question is how much of that is based on timing? So if you're expecting the receiver to have, 3 yards of separation, and if the timing is off, does that affect it that much?
Well, I'd just say in our league, it's hard to create, when it's man-to-man coverage and it's press man-to-man coverage, it's a little bit different in college, where that goes into a whole nother conversation of evaluating quarterbacks and receivers and trying to take off every man-to-man clip that's pressed relative to some of the softer zone, or maybe there's just better players. Here it's pretty tight usually. Obviously there's some elite route runners that have great quickness, ability to get in and out of breaks, and even those it's not like they're open by a ton. So again, different players get open different. I had a tight end that was a pretty good tight end that, big body guy that you just throw it up to him and he makes plays when they're right next to him. And those guys are good to have. Each of them are different. Every receiver is different. Every skill guy is different, whether it's a back, a tight end. And you have to try to figure out, as a coaching staff, what their strengths are and let them try to go ahead and do it.
Brian, on the third down play in the red zone with Daniel throwing to Kenny, should Saquon have chipped that blitzer on the opposite side, or no?
No.
It's not his responsibility?
Mm-mm.
Are any of these guys who are out, like Leonard, Blake, and these guys, do any of them have an illness and not an injury?
No, they're all working back from something here. Some will be back sooner than others, and there's the one guy we'll get on injuries. The one guy that's going to be back today is Aziz, so he'll be out there today, which is a good thing.
What about Ricky Seals-Jones? We haven't seen him. Is he
rehabbing?
But he's going to be back.
Yeah, at some point. Again, you guys know me. I'm not going to give a timetable. I think that's whenever they can be back, they'll be back. I know they're working, they're rehabbing, they're in the training room quite a bit, and whatever they can do, we ask them to do. And when they're ready to go, we'll put them out there.
Do you expect Tony on the field this week?
Probably not. I think he'll be rehabbing still. It could toward the end of the week, but early in the week, we're not there yet.
2 more.
Brian, when you talk about your not depth chart but rep chart back in the spring, when you come out of a first preseason game, I know injuries are one thing, but do you elevate guys now going into week 2? Guys you want to see more reps or more with the 1s or 2s, that kind of thing?
All right, I think what we try to do, if people are doing a good job at practice, and they're doing a good job in the meeting rooms and they deserve a chance to compete, we put them in there. I said it today. I think there's a lot of competition for a lot of spots, and there's only a few weeks left to go ahead and compete. So we're going to give multiple people multiple chances that have earned it. I think that's important to create on your team, where guys that maybe were, again, second, third, that's fine and dandy, but guys that are going out there and working really hard, they're able to stay on the field, they make plays, they're good in the classroom. If I was a player, I'd want an opportunity too to play. So we're going to mix them. We've been mixing them up, Art. That's why when you guys asked me about a second or a third, we've been mixing them up. We're going to mix them up some more to create as much competition as we can.
One more.
Does that extend in the game? Let's say you see a guy in a certain rep do something well, and you're like, all right, I kind of want to keep him out there while he's kind of hot right now.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Again, you're always. I think what you owe the players is if they're out there doing the right thing, and they're busting their tail, and they're producing, and it may not just be a catch or you see a tackle, but doing the right thing when they're supposed to do it, and they're showing dependability and intelligence, and I think you try to give them opportunity. I mean, that's where we're at. We're going to give as many people an opportunity to compete and show what they can do, and figure out what's best for our team.